$8 billion of other people's money just vanished. And the man who took it was smiling on magazine covers weeks earlier. This is the story of the fastest fall from grace in modern history. From the future of finance to a prison cell in under 1 month. His company was worth $32 billion. His name was on a stadium. Celebrities begged to work with him. Politicians took his money. They called him a genius, a visionary, the next Warren Buffett. He was going to save the world and give away every dollar he made doing it. It was all a lie, and when it collapsed, it took the savings of over 1 million people down with it. This is the rise and fall of FTX. Welcome to billion-dollar blunders. Because the bigger they build it, the harder the whole world watches it burn. Stay with me. His name is Sam Bankman-Fried. Born in 1992 to 2 Stanford law professors. Brilliant, awkward, and obsessed with numbers from a young age. He studied physics at one of the best universities in America. He loved video games, strategy, and a philosophy that would later define his entire public image. That philosophy was called effective altruism. The idea that you should earn as much money as possible so that you can give as much as possible to help the world. So he went to Wall Street, joining a top trading firm called Jane Street. There, he learned how to make money from tiny differences in prices at massive scale. Then he spotted something wild. Bitcoin was selling for very different prices in different countries. In Japan, it was much higher than in America. He could buy it cheap in one country and sell it high in another, pocketing the difference. It was almost free money, and he chased it with everything he had. In 2017, he founded a crypto trading firm called Alameda Research, a group of young, brilliant, and inexperienced people trading around the clock. They made huge amounts of money, but it was messy, chaotic, and reckless. Early on, millions of dollars reportedly went missing due to sloppy operations. Then Sam had a bigger idea. Instead of just trading crypto, why not build the casino itself? The exchange where everyone else comes to trade. So in 2019, he launched FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange, a place where millions of people could buy, sell, and gamble on digital coins. FTX was fast, slick, and easy to use. Traders loved it, and it grew at a speed that stunned even the biggest names in the crypto world. But hidden in plain sight was a ticking bomb. Sam owned both companies, the exchange where people kept their money, and the private firm gambling with money. Remember that. Then, in 2020 and 2021, the crypto market went insane. Prices exploded. Ordinary people were becoming millionaires overnight. Money flooded into FTX from every corner of the globe. Millions of new users. Billions of dollars in trades every single day. The rocket had launched. The company's value soared. $10 billion. Then 18. Then, at its peak, an astonishing $32 billion. In just 3 years. The smartest investors on earth threw money at him. Giant funds. Legendary firms. They barely checked the books because they were terrified of missing out. And Sam played the part perfectly. Messy hair. Wrinkled t-shirt. Cargo shorts. He looked like a genius too busy changing the world to bother combing his hair. It was a brilliant image. The scruffy boy genius who did not care about money, only about doing good. The whole world fell in love with the character. Then came the spending. FTX paid a reported $135 million to put its name on a famous NBA basketball arena in Miami. It ran a Super Bowl advert watched by 100 million people, telling everyone that FTX was the safe, smart, easy way into crypto. Do not miss out, it said. It signed some of the biggest stars on the planet. Legendary athletes. Hollywood names. They put their faces and their fans' trust behind FTX. And Sam became one of the biggest political donors in America, giving tens of millions of dollars, buying influence at the very highest levels of power. He was invited to advise the government on how to regulate crypto, the industry's most trusted voice. The good guy, the one who would keep everyone safe. He had it all. Fame, fortune, power, trust. He was the king of crypto, and almost nobody knew that the entire kingdom was built on a hidden crime. Here is the crime. When you put your money on FTX, you believed it was your money. Safe, untouched, waiting for you to trade or withdraw it whenever you wanted. It was not safe. Behind the scenes, customer money was secretly flowing into Alameda, Sam's private trading firm. Billions of dollars that did not belong to them. And Alameda was gambling that money on wild, risky bets, using the savings of ordinary people to make private wagers those people never agreed to. Investigators later found a secret feature buried in the code, a special exemption that let Alameda take out billions with no limits, without anyone raising an alarm. It got worse. FTX had created its own coin, called FTT. Sam's companies held enormous amounts of it, and they treated it as if it were real, solid money. But FTT was only worth something because FTX said it was. It was a house of cards, and the entire empire was leaning on it. All it needed was one push. In early November 2022, a news report leaked a document. It revealed that a huge part of Alameda's supposed fortune was just that made-up FTT coin. The crypto world froze. If Alameda's fortune was mostly a coin FTX printed itself, then how real was any of it? How solid was this empire actually? Then Sam's greatest rival struck. The head of Binance, the biggest crypto exchange on Earth, held a massive pile of that same FTT coin. And he announced, in one short public message, that he was going to sell all of it. Just a few words. But those words lit the fuse on the entire bomb. The price of FTT began to drop. Panic spread. And then, all at once, millions of customers had the same terrifying thought. Get my money out. Now. It became a bank run at the speed of the internet. In a matter of days, customers tried to pull around $6 billion off the platform. But the money was not there. It had been funneled into Alameda and gambled away. FTX could not give people back their own money, because it had spent it. Withdrawals slowed, then froze completely. Over 1 million people watched their life savings become trapped inside an app that would no longer let them out. In a panic, Sam turned to his rival at Binance and begged him to buy FTX. To rescue it. To save the millions of people about to lose everything. Binance agreed to look at the books. But when they saw what was really inside, they were horrified. The hole was far too big. The mess far too deep. Within a day, Binance walked away. Publicly. It said the problems were beyond anything it could fix. And with that, FTX had no lifeline left. On the 11th of November 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. The $32 billion empire was officially, completely dead. Sam resigned as chief executive. In a matter of days, he had gone from a celebrated billionaire to the most hated man in the entire financial world. A veteran expert was brought in to clean up the wreckage. A man who had handled the collapse of the giant energy fraud, Enron. And even he was shocked. He said in his entire career, he had never seen such a complete failure of controls. No records. No accounting. Company money spent on private homes and toys. And then Sam did something almost no accused person ever does. Instead of staying silent, he went on a media tour, giving interview after interview. He claimed he never meant to break the law, that he just made mistakes, that he did not know money was missing. Lawyers around the world watched in disbelief. It did not save him. In December 2022, he was arrested in the Bahamas, where FTX was based, and extradited back to the United States. Worse for Sam, his closest colleagues, the people who ran Alameda and FTX with him, pleaded guilty and agreed to testify against him. His own inner circle told the court the truth, that the fraud was deliberate, that customer money was knowingly taken, that Sam was at the very center of it. In November 2023, the jury reached its verdict. Guilty. On all 7 charges of fraud and conspiracy. It took them just a few hours to decide. In March 2024, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. The boy genius who was going to save the world was going to spend decades behind bars. But the real story is not Sam. It is the people. Over 1 million customers around the world had their money trapped when FTX collapsed. His name was stripped from the stadium. The celebrity ambassadors were sued. The offices emptied. The glittering empire was wiped from the face of the earth. And here's the strange twist. Because the recovered assets rose in value afterward, the bankruptcy team has been able to pay many customers back much of what was lost. But no repayment erases the fear those people felt, or the trust that was shattered. Compare what FTX was to what it is. A giant, reduced to a warning. So what actually killed FTX? How does a $32 billion empire die in a single week? Let us do the autopsy. Cause of death, number 1. It stole the one thing it could never afford to lose. Customer trust. It spent money that was never, ever its to spend. An exchange has one sacred job. Keep the customer's money safe. FTX broke that single rule. And the moment people found out, the empire was already dead. Cause of death, number 2. There was no one watching. No board. No records. No controls. Just one young man with total power and no one to say no. Even the smartest investors on Earth handed over billions without looking closely, because they were too afraid of missing the next big thing. Hyperplaced homework. Cause of death, number 3. It confused image with honesty. The messy hair and the good intentions were a costume, and it fooled almost everyone. The lesson is brutal. Looking like a good person is not the same as being one. And a great story is the perfect place to hide a terrible truth. Cause of death, number 4. It grew faster than the truth could survive. When you build a giant on a lie, every day of success just makes the eventual fall bigger. Go back to the beginning. A brilliant young man who genuinely talked about giving away his fortune to make the world a better place. That promise felt real. And that is the darkest part. He may have told himself he was one of the good guys, that the ends justified the means, that the money was for a higher cause. But you cannot do good with money you stole from people who trusted you. A noble goal does not clean a dirty foundation. It just makes the collapse more tragic. FTX had everything: the talent, the timing, the fame, the trust, and more money than it could count. It had every ingredient to become a real, lasting giant. And it destroyed itself in 1 week. Not because crypto failed, but because a company that steals from the people who trust it can never, ever survive the truth. The greatest lesson of FTX is simple. It does not matter how brilliant you are, or how good your intentions sound. Built on a lie, everything eventually falls. $32 billion. A stadium. A Super Bowl advert. The trust of 1 million people. All of it, gone in days. This was FTX. And this was how it fell. If this story shocked you, hit subscribe. Because somewhere out there right now, the next empire is being built on the very same lie. And we will be watching. This is billion-dollar blunders. Every week, I take one giant, open it up, and show you exactly where it rotted from the inside. Subscribe. Because the next empire is already falling. Tell me in the comments which company should die next. Every empire falls. Most of them do it to themselves. FTX did it faster than anyone thought possible. And Sam Bankman-Fried will be in prison until he is 55 years old, thinking about how he did it.